Welcome back. It's a pleasure to have you here again. A major political debate is currently unfolding across northern Nigeria after former Executive Secretary of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Professor Usman Yusuf, made a controversial statement suggesting that Peter Obi may not be electable in northern Nigeria.
Peter Obi is not sellable in the north, and this is the honest truth. They don't want me saying that. They say I'm this, I'm this. I know not how to lie. Peter Obi cannot penetrate the north. End of story. Three main opposition, APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and ADC, Atiku Abubakar, and Peter Obi, just like we did the last time. I've talked about Bola Ahmed Tinubu cannot, and should not be allowed to continue beyond 2027 for the reasons I said. Back to what's his name, Peter Obi. Peter Obi, a very young man, energetic. The North has issues with him. I've said it time and time again. We are going to interrogate his tenure as a governor of Anambra State, eight-year governor, what he did to Northerners. This is there. Number two, we are going to interrogate his association and refusal to dissociate himself from IPOB, which has been declared a terrorist organization, and his association and continuing. He's been talking that Nnamdi Kanu should not have been arrested. He's clean. We will interrogate him. It's not for his surrogates to come and give us answers. He must come and talk to people in the north to feel comfortable with him. If they arrest Turji and I come and say, oh, Turji is not a terrorist, Turji, they think anybody else will vote for me, even back home here. Number three, Peter Obi, during his 2023 campaign, his party is essentially Igbo-centric and Christian. Igbo and Christian, end of story. How do you expect us, Muslims, to be comfortable with you?
His remarks have generated thousands of reactions online and have triggered an intense conversation about the political future of the country ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Professor Usman Yusuf argued that while Peter Obi may enjoy popularity on social media and among young Nigerians, popularity alone may not be enough to secure victory in the north. According to him, elections in northern Nigeria are won through extensive grassroots structures, community engagement, political networks, and long-established relationships that goes beyond online support. He suggested that Peter Obi still faces significant challenges if he hopes to secure enough votes across northern states to become president. However, what has attracted even more attention than the professor's statement is the overwhelming reaction from many northerners in the comment section of various social media platforms. Rather than agreeing with Professor Yusuf, many northern Nigerians openly challenged his position and insisted that he does not speak on behalf of the entire north. Several commenters argued that Professor Yusuf should limit his comment to his personal opinion rather than making broad claims about the political choices of millions of northern voters. Many pointed out that northern Nigeria is not a monolithic voting bloc, and that citizens across the region are increasingly making political decisions based on economic realities, security concerns, unemployment, and the rising cost of living rather than traditional political loyalties. One commenter wrote that northern youths are no longer interested in politicians who rely on old political structures and ethnic calculations. According to the commenter, many young people are looking for leaders they believe can improve the economy, create jobs, and tackle insecurity. Another commenter stated that Peter Obi's popularity is growing rapidly in many northern communities because people are becoming frustrated with the current state of the country and are willing to consider alternatives regardless of where those alternatives come from. Others went even further, arguing that the political landscape has changed significantly since previous elections. They maintain that many politicians continue to underestimate the growing dissatisfaction among ordinary Nigerians. According to these supporters, the old formula of relying solely on political godfathers, traditional structures, and regional alliances may no longer be enough to guarantee electoral victory in the future. A recurring theme among many northern commenters was the belief that Peter Obi's message of accountability, transparency, prudent management of public resources, and economic reform resonates with ordinary Nigerians across all regions. They argue that economic hardship does not recognize tribe, religion, or geography. Rising food prices, unemployment, inflation, and insecurity affect citizens throughout the country. And many voters are now paying closer attention to issues rather than political affiliations. Some supporters specifically pointed to the growing presence of Peter Obi supporters in northern states. They argue that political rallies, town hall meetings, grassroots mobilization efforts, and increasing public discussions about Obi's candidacy demonstrate that his support base extends beyond social media. According to them, the assumption that Peter Obi cannot attract substantial support from northern voters is becoming increasingly outdated. Several comments also criticize what they describe as structural politics. These commenters argue that Nigeria has spent decades operating under a political system where powerful political structures often determine electoral outcomes before voters even get the opportunity to cast their ballots. They express frustration with a system that they believe prioritizes political connections over competence and performance. According to these voices, many Nigerians are becoming tired of politics as usual. They believe that the country requires a new approach focused on economic growth, education, healthcare, infrastructures, security, and good governance. For them, Peter Obi represents an opportunity to challenge the established political order and introduce a different style of leadership. Political analysts observing the debate note that both sides raises important points. On one hand, Nigeria's elections have historically been influenced by political structures, party organizations, and grassroots networks. On the other hand, there is evidence that voter behavior may be evolving as economic challenges become more severe and citizens become increasingly frustrated with the status quo. The discussion also highlights a broader question facing Nigeria as 2027 approaches. Are voters prepared to move beyond traditional political alignments and embrace issue-based politics? Or will the established political structures continue to dominate the electoral landscape? These questions remain one of the most important uncertainties heading into the next presidential election. For Peter Obi and his supporters, the reactions from northern commenters may be viewed as encouraging signs that his message is finding an audience in regions where some political observers believe he may struggle. For critics, such as Professor Usman Yusuf, the challenge remains whether this growing popularity can be translated into actual votes on election day. As political activities intensify and the race towards 2027 gathers momentum, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The battle for northern Nigeria may become one of the most important political contests of the next election cycle. Every major candidate will be seeking to convince northern voters that they offer the best path forward for the country. Whether Professor Usman Yusuf's assessment proves accurate, or whether Peter Obi supporters are correct in predicting a political shift remains to be seen. What cannot be denied is that the conversation has revealed a growing political awareness among many Nigerians who are increasingly willing to challenge established narrative and make their own decisions about the future of the country. The 2027 election may ultimately be decided not by political assumptions, but by the choices made by millions of Nigerians who are demanding better governance, economic opportunities, and a more secure future. Until then, debates like this will continue to shape the political conversation across the nation. What do you think? Is Peter Obi's popularity truly growing across northern Nigeria? Or does Professor Usman Yusuf have a point about the importance of political structures? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm Chidera Eso. Bye for now.